Hi yogis, welcome to Flex and Flow Yoga. Today's sequence is designed to open up your hips and also your low spine. So we're going to work through a series of twists in an effort to sort of facilitate the movement of stagnant energy in the body and at the same time facilitate better digestion. All right, so to get started today, we're going to come down onto our backs. But before we do so, I'm just going to give you a little guidance. As we begin to move on our backs, we're going to take deep breaths in through the nose, and then we're going to take a series of breaths where we exhale out through the mouth loudly with force. We're going to contract the belly in and go. So we'll breathe in, contract. So there's a sound that comes with that breath. It's a forceful breath that's coming through the belly and really contracting it in to exhale out. So as we start to move, I'll cue this breath, and I hope you'll do it with me. We want to invite a little fire into our belly and really ignite the body. Okay, so when you're ready, come on down onto your back, and I'm going to turn sideways just for this portion so that you can hear me a little bit better and see. You can, if you can, please find your knees in towards your chest, taking Uttanasana. And then lengthen out through your spine, allow your shoulders to rest down onto the mat. If you can close down the eyes here, please do. See if you can start to ground down into your body. Find a little space and a little ease so that as you move through this practice, you can find presence and focus and more lightness as you move and you breathe. Take another big breath in here. Exhale, release through the mouth, let it go. On your next inhale, stretch your arms out long like a T. And then we're going to just gently tap our knees over to the left side. So they're just going to tap as we exhale. And then we're going to inhale the knees and bring them back through center. As we exhale, we're going to tap the knees over to the right side. And then they're going to come back through center. Now, if you can, add the breath. As you exhale the knees over, deep through the mouth. Inhale through center. Through the mouth. Keep moving through it, inhaling. As you move through this, feel that fire in your belly. Each ha on your exhale, driving out a little more breath, really expelling the breath, finding more energy in your core, feeling a little release of your hips and your low spine. 3 more rounds. Deep breath in. Breath in. Breath in. Breath in. Breath in. Breath in. Draw the knees in. Find yourself in a little squeeze. Take a full inhale here. And full exhale. We're going to rock and roll ourselves up into tabletop pose. And I'm just going to flip around so that I'm easier to see. But take as many rock and rolls on your spine as you need to find some space. And then when you're ready, come onto all fours. Once you arrive in tabletop pose, the shoulders are stacking over the wrists, the hips are gently stacking over the knees, the pelvis is tucked slightly forward, and the inner arms are wrapping in so that you can feel that activation through the upper spine and the low belly squeezing in. On your next breath in, start to dip your belly towards the mat, lift up through your sternum, lift up through your seat, find a cow shape. As you exhale, bring your chin towards your pelvis and round into the spine. 2 more rounds, big breath in, we'll lengthen out your front side body. Reach up through the heart, reach up through the seat. As you exhale, arch into the spine, press into the mat, find space. 1 more round, inhale through your cow, draw your heart forward and up, lengthen and lift. Exhale, press into the mat, arch, tuck, round into the spine. Inhale into a neutral spine this time. And then see if you can keep pretty square with the hips and shoulders as you begin to float your right arm up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, take your right arm underneath the left, bringing the right shoulder and ear to the mat. You can stay or walk your left fingers forward. If you have more space, wrap your left arm towards your right hip crease. If you would like to move on from here, maybe lifting your left leg up and back behind you, finding balance, igniting your core. Take a deep breath in. Breath out. If the back knee is lifted, lower it. Take the left hand down, and then re-extend your right arm to the sky. Open up the chest. Exhale, releasing right hand down. Give your hips a little wiggle, a little shake, and then neutralize the spine. Lifting the left arm up and overhead, finding that stretch across your pecs, feeling into the shoulders, keeping the hips square. Exhale, thread the needle, bringing left shoulder down, maybe left ear down. You can walk the right fingers forward. You can take them and bring them back behind you until they reach your left hip crease. Maybe begin to extend your right leg back behind you if you want that extra core and balance. Breathe in, breathe out. One more inhale. As you exhale, gently lower the leg if it's lifted. Lower your right hand down and sweep your left arm back to the sky. Extend across your heart. Exhale, release the left hand. Shimmy out your hips, find a little space. And then find stillness in your tabletop. Begin to gently tuck your toes, lift your knees, and hold here. Feeling the strength in your legs, feeling that length in your spine. One more breath in. Breath out, press your hips to the sky, finding downward facing dog. Move around as much as you need in your dog. You can bend both knees. You can shake the hips from side to side. You can bend one, then the other until you find the space you need to settle in. And then find some stillness if you can. Really root through the palms and spread the fingers wide. And then wrap the inner arms in, shrug the belly back towards the thighs towards the back of the room. Take a deep breath here. Deep breath out here. On your next inhale, gaze forward, come up onto your toes. Bend into your knees and take 2 big steps to the front of your mat, forward fold. Gently release the head and neck. See if you can press into all 4 corners of the feet and then really release through the upper part of the body, maybe even just dangling or taking opposite elbows if that suits your practice today. Take one more full breath in here. Stay for the breath out and inhale to stay with the length. And exhale to release any bind you might have taken. On our next breath, a simple halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, reaching the crown of the head forward, the tail back. And exhale, bringing belly to thighs, fold. This time, bring your right hand towards your right hip and bring your left hand so that it's centered right underneath your face. Keep a nice bend in your left knee as you lengthen the right leg and open up your torso towards the windows, finding a little twist. If you have more space, reach the right arm high to the sky. Take a deep breath in. And breath out, bend your knees, lower the hands down, forward fold. Switching sides, right hand under the face, bend into the right knee as you take your left hand to your hip, open your torso, and then stay here or start to extend your left arm up and overhead. Find your breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way to stand. Sweep your arms up and overhead. Find strength here. And then find a big breath in. As you breathe out, take your right fingers around your left wrist. Gaze up over to the left side. And then push your left fingers towards the ceiling as you peel your left side body open. Drawing over to the right. Stretching into your left. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Come back through center. Switch the bind, taking your left fingers around right wrist and take your gaze to the left. Draw your right fingers high to the sky and then shift up and over, reaching into the right side body. Keeping your core engaged, your legs are strong. Come back through center, reach both fingertips, hands up to the sky, and then exhale through your heart, forward fold, soften. Inhale, take a halfway lift, lengthen. As you exhale, step back to plank pose. Take a big breath in, draw your weight slightly forward, really press into the balls of the feet, draw the crown of the head forward, inhale. Exhale, soften down to your belly, squeeze the elbows in towards your sides. Come to the tops of the feet, so root them firmly on the mat, and then start to lift up through the heart, finding Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Find that little throat lock, Jalandhara Bandha, by drawing the chin slightly back and lengthening through the spine. Take a deep breath in. Breath out, bring your forehead to the floor. 2 more times, lift up. Press into the tops of the feet and the pubic bone. Lengthen across the heart. Breath in, breath out. 1 more time on your inhale, lift up. And exhale. Bring your hips to your heels, child's pose, rock back. Find length into your spine. Draw your fingertips forward. Let your forehead rest. Take 1 more full breath in here. 1 more full breath out. Come through tabletop pose, resting in all 4s. And then begin to tuck your toes, lift your knees 2 inches, hover them, hold here for 3. Hold here, find the strength in the legs and the belly for 2. 1, float your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. On your next breath in, gaze forward. Soften through your knees, hop, step, float your feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Release into the legs. Take an inhale to find a halfway lift. And then exhale, fold. Once again, we're gonna take our left hand underneath our face, and then we're gonna bend into the left knee. Open your right hand to your right hip or to the sky. Find a deep breath in. Breath out, release, both knees can soften. Right hand will take the left hand's place as you bend into the right knee and take left hand to hip, or if you have the space, bring it to the sky. Breath in, breath out, release into your fold. Stand all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, root to rise, lift and lengthen. Pause here for a breath in. Breath out, right fingertips around left wrist. Gaze up over to the left as you start to bring your hips towards the left. Carrying your left arm up and over. Take a deep breath in. Breath out. Come back through center. And then switch the bind. Left fingertips around right wrist. Pull the right hand up. And then start to draw your hips towards the right as you gaze up and over, finding space in your right side body. Take a deep breath in. Breath out, come through center, hands through heart, hinge from the hips, fold. Inhale, take a halfway lift, and then plant the palms, step back, high plank. Start to shift your weight slightly forward, feel that strength of your front side body. Breathe in, lower all the way down, breath out. Bring the elbows in and back, shoulders soften, tops of feet root down, pubic bone roots lift up through the heart, Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Exhale back to the floor. 2 more times, inhale. Exhale. Last time through, big breath in. Big breath out. Shift your hips to child's pose, press up and back. Take a big long breath in through the nose. Big breath out through the mouth, let it go. Come forward into tabletop pose on your inhale. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, hold 3. Hold 2, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Draw your hips, lengthen out the backside body. Take a full breath in here. Stay for the breath out here. On your next inhale, gaze forward. Bend into the knees, either step or float to the top of the mat, forward fold. We'll meet in a fold, and we'll soften down. Take a deep breath in to halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Left hand comes underneath your face, right hand to the hip or sky. Bend into the left knee as you open. Exhale, fold. Right hand replaces left, bend the right knee and bring your left hand to your hip or to the sky, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Rise all the way to stand, Urdhva Hastasana, root down, lift up. And then bringing your right fingertips around left wrist, gaze comes to meet the left side of the room. Start to reach up and over, feeling that left side body open. Inhale back through center. Other side, reach up and over, stretch into the right side body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come through center. Hands through heart as you forward fold. This time, find a halfway lift, lengthen, and we'll take our left toes to the back of the mat, low lunge. From here, keep your left palm on the mat and reach your right hand towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, bring your back knee, your left knee down to the mat. And then maybe untuck the toes for more stability so the top of the foot is rooted. And then start to lift up using your belly, finding an open twist. Left arm remains forward, right arm back, deep breath in. On your breath out, left palm comes back down, right fingers lift. And then as you exhale, bring the right hand to the inside of your right foot. Heel toe the right foot out a little bit, give yourself space. And then maybe start to just work into the hip. You can rock it down and back. You can lengthen the leg. Just finding a little juice here. Take another breath. And then rebend into the right knee as you are ready. And then finding this lizard lunge, you can stay here on your palms. You can lower down to your forearms or blocks. You can even lift that back knee if you need something a bit more active. Find your breath, 2 more inhales. See if you can keep the spine long, the left hip drawing gently forward as the right hip presses back. 2 more exhales. 1 more breath in. Breath out. If you've lowered the forearms, come back onto the palms. And then tuck your left knee, lift your left knee, tuck your left toes, lift your left knee, oh my gosh. And then bend into it a little bit and step it forward into Malasana squat. Sink into your hips, find a little lift in your heart. Deep breath in. Stay for the breath out. 1 more inhale, really activate through the low belly. Pull the hips slightly forward and then lower the hands back to the mat. Step back with your left toes and then float your right leg quietly all the way to the sky, 3-legged dog. Bend into your knees, stack the hip, roll it open, deep breath in. And then re-extend the right toes, lower them down to the mat. Find your breath here, hold for an inhale. Soften out as you exhale. Gaze forward between your palms. Bend into the knees, you can hop, step, or float to the top of your mat. And we'll meet in a forward fold, soften. Halfway lift on your breath in. Exhale, fold. Left hand under your face, bend the knee as your right hand comes to the hip or sky. And then soften as you exhale. Right hand replaces left, left hand to hip or sky, open. Exhale, soften. All the way to stand, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana, root through all 4 corners of the feet. Take the right fingertips around the left wrist and pull up and over. Keep the belly engaged. Come back through center. Other side, left fingers, right wrist, draw up, and then open. Feel that right side body growing longer. Come back through center. Hands through heart center and forward fold, hinge from the hips. Take an inhale to find a halfway lift, and then bring your right toes to the back of the mat. From here, take your right palm and root it. Reach your left fingers to the sky, find an easy twist. Take an inhale, and then go ahead and lower your right knee down. Now maybe untuck your right toes. I find a little more stability when I move through this. And then start to lift up using your belly, reaching right finger still forward, left arm back. Broaden across your heart space. Take another deep breath in. As you breathe out, bring your right hand back down, left fingers to the sky. And then take both hands inside of your left foot. Heel toe it out wide. Stay here, working into the hips, breathing. You can stay on the palms or lower to the forearms. Wherever you're going, you're thinking about keeping that activity through your left hip. If you want to take a couple juicy hip rolls first, you can rock forward and back. And then once you're ready again to settle into that lizard pose on this side, find your variation. If you lower your forearms, see if you can continue to keep the spine long, so trying not to round into it. but rather lengthen, feeling the chest maybe coming a little closer to the mat with each exhale. Find your breath. One more inhale here. One more exhale. Hands to the mat if you're on the forearms. And then tuck your right toes, lift your right knee off of the mat, soften the right knee, and step the foot outside of the hand malasana squat. See if you can zip up through the belly. Really feel the press of the elbows into the thighs. Deep breath in. Breath out, lower the hands. We're gonna step back with the right toes once again, and then three-legged dog. Without a sound, lift your left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, stack the hip, roll it open. And then inhale, re-extend the toes. Lower them down, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in here. Full breath out here. Gaze forward on your inhale. Bend the knees, hop, step, float the feet. Top of the mat, we meet in a forward fold. Once you arrive, soften in. And then find your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Left hand underneath your face, bend the left knee, slide the right fingers towards the sky, and release into your fold. Switch the arms, bend the right knee, bring your left hand to your hip or sky, and then soften into your fold. Rise up, Urdhva, reach up, lift and lengthen. This time, come all the way back down to the mat, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left toes to the back of the mat. Left palm roots, right fingers reach high, deep breath in. Lower the back knee, breath out. Untuck the toes if you find more stability there, and then lift up, find your twist. Broaden across the heart, take a deep breath in. Breath out, lower the left hand, reach the right fingers high. As you exhale, lower the right hand inside and then heel toe the right foot out just a little. Find your lizard lunge, just 2 breaths this time. Maybe keep the back knee, or tuck the left toes and then lift the back knee off the mat and keep it lifted as you draw that hip forward. And then draw the right hip back. Spine stays long, deep breath in. Breath out, wherever you are, tuck the left toes, lift the left knee. Soften into the left knee and step it forward, malasana squat. Breathe in as you press the belly in. Draw the elbows into the thighs, inhale. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step the left toes back, breath in, breath out. Finding three-legged dog, inhale without a sound, right leg to the sky. And then bend and soften into the knee. This time, re-extend your right leg high to the sky. And then bring your right knee all the way underneath and across the body to your left tricep, holding 3. Holding 2. Knee to nose, squeeze it in, and lightly step it through. Spin your back heel down and open up, warrior 2. Bend into the right knee, soften the shoulders, gaze over your right hand. Take another full 2 breaths here. See if you can widen that distance between your right and left hip. On your next inhale, reach your right fingers forward. Flip your palm, exhale into a reverse, opening through the right ribs. Take a deep breath in here. Deep breath out here. Come back through warrior 2. And then start to shift your weight forward. So right ribs are coming over the thigh. And then either lower the forearm to the thigh, reach the left fingers up, or draw them over your ear. If you still have more space, let the right hand come down to a block or your mat. Breathe in across your left side body. Feel your right hip opening gently. Take another inhale. Stay for the exhale. Come back through warrior 2. And then cartwheel your hands down to the mat. Flip your left heel so it faces the sky. And come up through high crescent pose. Take a deep breath into your crescent. See if you can shift your left hip gently forward. Bring your right hip gently back and hug your low belly in. And then press back through this left heel to stretch out long through the left hip flexor. Maybe take your gaze up, shift your arms back, breath in. Breath out, hands come down to your low spine. Opposite elbows or clasp your palms and roll the shoulder blades in and back. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, bring your belly towards your right thigh to hover. If you have the space, bring the shoulder to the inside of the thigh. Take 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath here. We're gonna flip all 10 toes to the center of the mat. And then you can keep the bind or ditch it if it doesn't serve you. Find your breath here. Stay for another inhale. Maybe the arms extend a little bit farther forward. On your next exhale, release your hands down the backs of your legs if they're still lifted. Find a little halfway lift, lengthen your spine. And then bend into your left back knee. Lengthen through your right leg. Low side lunge, Skandasana. You can keep your hands on the mat or bring your hands through heart center, holding for 3, 2, 1. Come down onto your seat. From here, take your right hand, so your opposite hand to your opposite ankle, and then take your left hand and sweep it up and over, pressing it towards your extended right foot. Find a little side body action here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Come back here, come back through center, and then go ahead and take your left arm and then press it in towards the left thigh, and then reach your right fingertips towards the sky. Find a little space. Take another inhale here. Stay for the exhale. Hands come through heart or to the mat. We're gonna shift into our front leg. So you're gonna bring your hands forward, or maybe don't use them at all, and find warrior 2. Cartwheel hands down to the mat. Step it back through your plank pose. Vinyasa of choice. Come forward on the toes. Feel that activation in the front side of your body. Stay or lower halfway, all the way to your belly if you'd like. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shift your hips to the sky. Take 2 deep breaths to settle. 1 more deep breath here. On your next inhale, gaze forward. Bend the knees, hop, step, float your feet, top of the mat, we fold. Once you arrive in your fold, take an inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale, drape belly to thighs. Left fingers come in front of your face, right hand to your hip as your left knee bends. Maybe open right arm to the sky. And then release it down. Switch the hands, right knee bends, left hand travels to hip or sky, breath in. And then lower it down. Sweep the arms up and overhead, Anjaneyasana, root through the feet, lift, lengthen, and then come right back down to earth, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Right toes come back behind you. Right hand stays rooted, left fingers reach up to the sky, deep breath in. Lower the knee down. Stay or untuck the toes, your choice. Lift up with your belly, find your twist here. Feel centered, feel rooted, breath in. Release the right hand down, left fingers lift, breath out. Take an inhale. Lower the left hand inside of your left foot and heel toe it out just a little bit. Now, just like before, see if you can tuck your left toes. Maybe tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, and either stay here in this lizard lunge if that is available to you, or if you need to have that knee lowered, lower it down. If you can stay here, be active, lengthen through the spine. Take another full breath in. Breath out. If your knee is lowered, tuck your right toes and pick up your right knee, and then soften it, step to the outside of the hand, find Malasana squat. Draw your elbows in, lengthen through your heart. Feel that little tuck of the tail, so you're active. You're not slumping into the squat, but rather lifting, lengthening, using your strong legs. Breath in. Breath out. Lower the hands back down. We're going to take our right toes back behind us. And then we're going to find three-legged dog without a sound. Lift it up and back. Bend into your left knee. Step open through the hip. Breath into the left side. Breath out. Re-extend your left leg high. And then bring the knee to your right tricep. Holding here for 3. Holding here for 2. Draw the left knee into your nose and lightly step it through. From here, we spin the back heel down and we open up warrior 2. Breathe into your 2. Gaze out over your front fingers. Bend into your knee. Maybe draw your shoulders up and then release them back down. Draw the left knee out a little bit and press into the outer edge of the right foot. Deep breath in. Sink a little deeper if you can, breath out. Reach your left fingers forward, flip the palm, reverse the warrior. Take it up and back, lengthen. Feel into the side body. Holding. Deep breath in. We'll come to warrior 2 to side angle. We're going to take our left fingers forward. You can lower the forearm and reach the right hand to the sky or over the ear. If you have the space, you can lower the left hand inside of the thigh. Find your breath. Keep spinning the right heart open. Keep rooting through the feet. Take another full inhale here. Stay for the exhale. Release your right hand down. Flip your right heel up, and we'll find high crescent lunge. Find stability on your legs. Find your breath here, feeling that length through your spine by drawing that right, little bend into the right knee and shifting the hips in one line so the shoulders are stacked and the belly's engaged. And then if you can, make space, press through the right heel, and then maybe re-extend the arms. Take a deep breath. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Hands float down to the low spine, opposite elbows, or clasp the palms. Roll the shoulder blades back and down, breath in. Hover the belly over the left thigh. From here you can stay, or if you have the space, start to dip your left shoulder to the inside of your left thigh. Stay rooted in the legs, holding here for 2 more breaths. One more breath. Spin your toes to the center of the mat, heels out, finding a wide-legged forward fold. Prasarita. If this doesn't work with the bind, let it go. We're holding here only if it's comfortable. If you have this pose and the bind is okay, feel the weight pressing towards the balls of the feet and then draw your arms up and over. See if you can create a little more space through your pec, through your shoulders, through your triceps. Take another deep breath in. As you breathe out, release your hands down the backs of your legs and all the way back down to the mat. Inhale, take a little halfway lift, and then bend into your right knee, flip your left toes towards the sky, come down into Skandasana. 2 full breaths. Feel the length of your left hamstring and the opening of your right hip here, or your left hip here. Take a deep breath in. Breath out, come onto your seat. So once again, opposite hand will come to opposite ankle. So it's left hand to right ankle. And then take your right fingertips and stretch them up and over, finding a nice side body bend. You can use the traction of the hand on the ankle to get a little bit more stretch. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Coming back through center, take your right arm and press it inside the right thigh. And then reach your left fingers to the sky, just opening across the chest. Take another deep breath in here. Deep breath out. You can bring hands to heart and start to float forward into warrior 2. If that is too much, bring your hands down and move gently into the left knee. Find your warrior 2, breath in. Breath out, release the palms down. Step back into high plank and move through your flow, shifting the weight forward. You can always go straight to down dog or lower halfway or all the way to the belly. Inhale, pressing through upward facing or cobra. Downward facing dog is where we meet, hips lift to the sky. Take 3 big breaths here. See if you can ground down. Come back to that stillness in your mind. Feel the energy of the practice flowing through the body. Releasing some of that stagnant energy. 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. As you inhale, bring your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Press back through the right heel as you press down with the left. Take a big breath in, and then bend into the right knee. Open up the hips, stack it. Feel the right side body grow longer. As you exhale, bring your right knee all the way underneath and across the body to the left tricep. Stay here, or begin to kick your right foot towards the other side. Breathing in. You can lower the heel or maybe lift it for 3. For 2, 1, knee to nose, and lightly step it through. Simple twist, left hand remains down, right hand to the sky, open, breathe in. This time, see if you can tense your fingertips, maybe float them 1 inch off the mat, hold, and come all the way up through your twist. Breathe in, broaden across the collarbone, press back through the left heel, breath in. Right hand down the back of the left hamstring as you reach the left fingers up and over, exalt. Take a deep breath in here. Stay for the breath out. Inhale, come through crescent pose. Exhale, bring your hands to your low spine. Opposite elbows or fingers clasped. Lift up through the heart. Inhale. Exhale, hover belly over the thigh. Stay here or press into the right foot and get your left toes to reach off of the mat. Square the hip down. See if you can keep your gaze neutral and lift up through the arms. Breath in. Breath out. Bend into the right knee. Step back with the left toes or stay as you are. Breathe into it. Maybe dip the right shoulder to the inside of the right leg. Breath in. Breath out. Turn all 10 toes to face inwards. Heels gently coming out. Find your forward fold. Take a deep breath in here. And then release your hands down the backs of the legs until they find their way to the mat. Bring your left hand directly under your face. Bring your right hand towards your hip and find a little halfway lift. Start to turn your right shoulder so that you have a twist from the upper and mid part of the spine. And you can stay. You can keep your hand to your hip. I like to place mine on my sacrum to keep my hips nice and level. Or if you have the space, you can begin to reach your right arm to the sky open. Take another deep breath in here. Stay for the breath out here. Take another inhale, and then release your right hand down. Find a halfway lift, lengthen. Bend into your left knee, flip your right toes towards the ceiling, Skandasana. Find a deep breath in, and a breath out. This time, go ahead and lower to your seat, right hand around your left ankle, and then start to sweep the left arm up and over. See if you can use that traction of your ankle to guide your side body a little longer. Breath in, breath out. Come back through center, and then take your left arm and squeeze it in towards your left thigh as you reach the right fingers to the sky. Take another full inhale here. Full exhale. Okay, we're gonna stay in this seated position for a moment. See if you can bring yourself back through center. So draw the right knee in, the left knee in towards the left shoulder, and then just square your hips here. Take your left arm and start to thread it underneath your left thigh. So this is where we can stay. And it might be more sort of above the elbow, not quite towards the shoulder, but maybe somewhere in between. If this is too much, take your left hand to the thigh, bring your right hand to the sole of the foot, and just give yourself a gentle little rock. So we're just opening up through the hips and glutes. If you have the space for the bind, you're bringing that left foot over. The right foot is nice and extended. Stay here or press into the mat. Draw your hips back behind you and maybe lift your heel for 3, for 2, 1. Lower the seat, lower the feet. All right, we're gonna find ourselves back in warrior 2 at the front of the mat. So an invitation to just spin yourself gently back to where we started. You can bring left arm to the thigh as you reach the right fingers up, and then come through center. You may need to use your hands to lift up. Finding warrior 2 at the front of the room. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Release hands down to the mat, and then shift your right foot back, find your plank pose. Take a deep breath in as you roll forward. Breath out, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shift your hips to the sky. Take a deep breath in here. Stay for the breath out here. Left leg will lift this time. Inhale. Press through both heels. Feel that strength of your legs. And then bend into the left knee. Stack the hip. Roll the left side body open. Take a big breath to lengthen the ribs. Breath out. Bring the left knee towards the right tricep. So underneath and across. You can stay here or kick the left heel towards the right. The heel can lower or it can stay lifted for 3. Keep the shoulder square for 2. Knee into chest. Lightly step the foot through. Right palm is your base. Left fingers reach to the sky. Open into your simple twist. See if you can stack the shoulders, square the hips. Remain here or tense your right fingers. Or start to float up into your twist. Find your breath. Feel really strong in your legs. Stretch from right fingertips to left. Inhale. Left hand down the back of the right thigh as your right fingers reach up, exalt. Take a deep breath in here. Stay for the breath out. Come up through center. Release your hands to your low back. Opposite elbows are clasped. Roll your heart open. And exhale, bring your belly on top of your left thigh. Stay here working into this hovering crescent, or press the weight forward into the left foot and start to lift and lengthen the right leg back behind you, finding a warrior 3 variation. Breathing into strong legs, strong core. Deep breaths in. Press the arms up and away, breaths out. One more inhale. As you exhale, soften the left knee. Step the right toes back, find that hover. Stay here or dip your left shoulder to the inside of the thigh. Take another full breath in. Breath out. We're gonna turn the toes in, heels out. Find your wide-legged forward fold. Softening through the face. Softening through the jaw. Take one more breath in. Hands come down the low spine to the legs and all the way to the mat. This time, right hand roots underneath your face. Find a little halfway lift. Left hand comes to your hip and then you just revolve the shoulder open. So it's the middle and the upper part of the spine that are doing the twisting. If it helps to keep that left hand rooted on the sacrum, keep it. If not, you can start to extend it towards the sky. Find a deep breath in. Breath out, release into the fold. Halfway lift. Skandasana, back of the mat. So flipping the left toes towards the ceiling as you bend into the right knee, holding here for another deep breath in. Breath out, release the seat. Left hand to right ankle. Right finger sweep up and over. Use that traction of the ankle to find more side body stretch. Taking deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. All right, we're gonna come back through the center. Take your right hand to the inside of your thigh and extend your left fingers long. Feel your chest growing open. Take another deep breath here. And a breath out. We're gonna spin to face forward, but keep your right knee towards your right shoulder, and then just keep your left leg extended and active out in front of you. Now you can stay here. You can start to thread your right arm underneath the thigh if you would like, or again, you can take right hand to your thigh, left hand to your sole of your foot, and just give it a gentle rock back and forth. We're working into opening up the outer glute and the hip. So whatever works for you. If you want to find that bind, you're draping the leg over your arm. It might be just above the elbow, or maybe you lift it a little higher till it gets towards the shoulder. Wherever you are, you can stay here, or start to press into the palms and scoot the butt back. Flex through the feet and maybe lift for 3, for 2, lower the seat, and we'll see if we can transition a little smoother. So we're gonna come back so that we're facing sideways on our mat. Maybe hands come back through heart. Maybe we reach them up, extend them. And then we try to find our balance as we float to warrior 2. I definitely need to use my hands at the top of the mat. Deep breath in. Exhale, release your hands down. Step back, plank pose. Breath in, find an inhale. Breath out, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, find your upward facing or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shift your hips towards the sky. Take 3 deep breaths here. Finding cleansing, softening inhales. Cleansing, softening exhales. One more full breath in. And breath out. On your next inhale, take your left toes high. Bend into the knee, stack the hip open. Take an inhale to re-extend and draw the right knee into the left tricep. This time, stay or kick the heel towards the left side of the room, and maybe start to reach your left fingers up to the sky. Holding here, fallen triangle, fallen star, deep breath in. Release the left hand down, bring your right knee into your heels, and lightly step it through. Left hand stays rooted, right fingers reach. Stay or come up onto the finger pads. Stay or lift all the way up through your twist. Breathe in, breathe out. Stay or exalt, right hand down the back of the left thigh. Reaching the left fingers up with your balance if you can. And then bring your left elbow to the outside of your thigh, hinging forward at the hips. You can bring your right hand and place it gently on top. Find your breath. Feel the outer right hip and glute beginning to gently open as you shift your left hip forward and in line. So you're finding that nice alignment with the hips, and then you're continuously rolling your right shoulder open, pressing the left thigh away from the mat. Take another deep breath in here. Stay for the breath out.
Come through crescent lunge, reach up, inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands down to the low part of your spine. Opposite elbows or hands clasped. Roll the heart open, breath in. Come into that lean over the thigh, hovering variation. Stay or begin to lift and lengthen your left toes back behind you, breath in. This time, as you breathe out, if you would like, add a little squat. Bend your right knee, hug the left knee behind. 2 more times, inhale. Exhale, squat. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale, squat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, bend your right knee, step your left toes back. Find the hover if you lost it. Dip the right shoulder maybe inside the thigh and then roll into your forward, wide-legged forward fold. Take a deep breath in. Breath out, release the palms down. Bring your left hand under your face, right hand to your hip or to the sky, revolving open. And then release. Find a halfway lift. Bend into the left knee, float the right toes towards the ceiling. This time, we're gonna stay here, heart center, or if you wanna press the left arm in towards the thigh and reach the right fingers up, feel free. If you have a little more space from here, you can begin to wrap the left arm around the left shin and bring your right hand back behind towards your left hip crease. And then roll the heart open. Take another deep breath, and then go ahead and sit down on your seat. Okay, now we're all bound up. Find your breath here. See if you can maybe extend the heart gently forward and feel into that left hip. Take another inhale. Stay for the exhale. We're gonna take our fingers out just about to the right corner of the mat and just extend for a moment. Finding a little release in the low spine. And then walk them back in. Come to face forward. Extend your right leg, bring your right knee in, and then sit up nice and tall. Same variations as before. You can find this little hip stretchy guy, finding like this almost half pigeon variation, or take your left arm underneath the thigh, reaching the leg up, press into the palms, shift the hips back, lift with your low belly, flex through the right toes and hold 3. Hold 2, lower the seat. From here, we're gonna swivel the legs back behind us. So whether you have the thigh or you have the backpack, okay, we're just gonna bring the legs back. We're gonna find tabletop pose. Take a deep breath here in your tabletop. Stay for the breath out. Inhale, find a cow shape. Exhale, find cat. Inhale, come into neutral spine. And then reach your right fingers to the sky, open. Exhale, release shoulder and ear to the mat. Take your left hand and walk it forward or thread it back behind you. Left foot can reach up towards the sky, breathe in. And breathe out, lower it down. Left hand can come down, right finger sweep high. And release. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, hover, hold here. Pause, breathe, and shift your hips back to the sky, downward facing. On your next breath in, take your left leg and reach it high to the sky. Finding a deep breath in, press through both heels. Breath out, bend the knee, stack the hip open. Inhale, re-extend, and as you exhale, draw it all the way underneath and across. Stay here or kick the heel out. Maybe reach the right fingers to the sky, fallen triangle, fallen star, holding, breathing across that expansive chest. And then lower the right hand, squeeze the left knee in. Lightly step the foot through. And then plant your right palm, reach your left fingers to the sky, deep breath in. Float all the way to stand, use your fingertips, and then use that little balance here. And then maybe come to stand, right fingers reaching forward, left back. Take a full breath in to lengthen out across the spine. Full breath out, bend into the left knee. Take your left fingers back behind your right hamstring and reach your right arm to the sky. Deep breath in, breath out. If you have the space, you can either come through this open twist or start to bring your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh, maybe placing left arm on top and then rolling the left shoulder open. See if you can find your balance, hug your belly in. Shift your right hip in line with the right. Feel that space in the body, and we're here for 3 more breaths. See if you can keep working the right heel back, the right side lifting away from the mat and the left shoulder opening. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Warrior, finding your high crescent pose as you are ready. And then hands come down behind you, low spine. Opposite elbows or clasp the palms. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. And then bring your belly over your thigh. You can stay here in this hovering variation or press forward until your right toes float. Level off the hips, lengthen the spine, breath in. Breath out, one more inhale. Stay here or start to bend your left knee. Wrap the right knee behind it, Shakti squat. Inhale, expand. Exhale, Shakti. Squeeze in. Inhale, expand. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, expand. Exhale, bend your left knee, step the right toes back. Keep the hover if you can, and then maybe dip the left shoulder inside, breath in. Breath out, spin the toes into center, heels out, forward fold, breath in. Breath out, one more inhale here. Exhale, let the hands come down the backs of the legs and soften to the mat. On a halfway lift, plant your right palm in front of your face. Take your left hand to the hip, sacrum or sky as you revolve open. Press into the ball mounds of the feet, really feel that stretch. Deep breath in. Lower the left hand down as you breathe out. Take a halfway lift, lengthen, and then come into your skandasana, back of the mat. Bend into the right knee. Flip the left toes towards the sky. Hands can stay at heart, or you can begin to lengthen right arm, pressing into the thigh as reaching left fingers up. Stay here, or maybe take your right arm and bring it around your shin. Left hand comes to meet it, holding for 2 breaths. If you get the bind and you find yourself deeply collapsing into it, see if you can lift up, use the belly, and then roll open through that left shoulder. One more breath. Release your seat down to the mat. If you're in the bind, keep it. If it's too much, let it go. You can always come to this open arm variation. One more breath. And then from here, just simply release whatever bind you have. Walk your fingers forward. Stretch into the hamstring. Find a little rounding of the spine. And then come back through center. We're going to spin so that our left knee again is facing forward. Our right knee is facing forward and our left leg is nice and extended. So options as before, you can take this variation and just seated upright pigeon, or you can start to wrap your right leg up and over the arm. And then wherever you go from here, you can stay or press into the palms. Draw your hips back, but wherever you go, hug the belly in. Maybe lift the left heel and hold for 3, for 2, 1. Lower the seat. Okay, we're gonna release the leg back down to the mat and then spin back open so that you're facing sideways. And then once again, maybe expand the wings. Take your right arm down, left arm to the sky, open. And then either come through heart or you can touch down to the mat. We're gonna float forward to the top of the mat, maybe without hands this time, warrior 2. Deep breath in, breath out. Cartwheel, hands to the mat. Step it back to plank pose. Roll the weight forward, inhale. Exhale, soften into your chaturanga or all the way to the belly. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Downward facing dog. 3 soft breaths. One more big breath in. Breath out. On your next inhale, reach your right toes high. Bend into the knee, stack the hip. Re-extend the leg. Bring right knee underneath and across. You can stay or shoot the foot towards the left side as you reach the left fingers high. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower left hand. Squeeze the right knee in and lightly step it through. Right arm reaches high, inhale. Stay, tent the fingers, maybe lift up through the finger pads and then rise all the way up into your twist. You can stay here or exalt, taking right hand down the back as you reach the left fingers up. And then you can come back to open arm twist or start to hinge from the hips and hook the left elbow outside of your right thigh. Maybe right palm comes on top of the left and you pause. Take a full breath in here. Stay for the breath out. Come back through high crescent pose, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands float to low spine. Opposite elbows or palms clasp, roll the shoulder blades back and down. Come to the hover, bring your belly over your right thigh. Stay or press weight into the right foot as you lift the left toes. Take a deep breath in, breath out. Inhale here, bend into the right knee, maybe bring the left knee back behind it, hold 3, hold 2, hold 1. Come back into your warrior 3 if you're in your squat, and then we'll meet in that hovering, finding that hovering shape, hovering crescent. Breathe in, lower the right shoulder to the inside, breath out. This time, release the bind, spin all the way up and open, warrior 2. Rooting down through the feet, pressing open with your right knee. Inhale, flip the palm, reverse the warrior. Exhale, find side angle pose, reaching your right fingers forward, out to forearm on the thigh, or you can start to release them down to a block or the mat. If you have a bind from here, take your left hand and bring it towards your right hip crease, and then take your right arm and thread it underneath the thigh. Maybe you start to connect the fingers, and then once you have that same thing we explored, where we instead of round in, we lift up. We feel the belly connect, we roll the left shoulder open. If you still have more space, start to gaze forward in front of your right toes. Hop your left toes in, maybe step them in line with the right, and then use your low belly, draw your knee in, lift up. Stay here if that's enough, or start to lengthen through the right leg, hold 3, hold 2, bring the right knee back in, come back down, same way you came in, finding your side angle variation for another breath in, breath out. Warrior 2, can then come all the way to 5-point and start lift and lengthen. Wide-legged forward fold, soften. Take 2 deep breaths here. 1 more deep breath here. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, Skandasana, back of the mat. Right toes flip towards the sky, left knee bends. Stay or reach the arms up, open up. Take 1 more breath. We'll meet in warrior 2, top of the mat. Inhale to reverse. Exhale takes you back, up and overhead. Release the palms down to the mat. Take your right foot back to meet the left. Vinyasa of choice. Moving through your flow. Feeling that movement of energy in the body as you continue to breathe. Take a full breath here. Breath out. 1 more big breath in. Breath out. As you are ready, start to lift your left toes to the sky as you inhale. And then bend your left knee, open up the hip. On your next breath in, re-extend the left leg and then draw in and across the body, holding or extending the heel, reaching the right arm to the sky, open up. Take a deep breath in. Bring the right hand down, squeeze the left knee in, and step it through. Right hand is your base, left fingers reach to the sky. And then find the fingertips or float the fingers off of the mat an inch before rising all the way up. You can stay here if this twist is enough. If you want more, take your left hand down the back of the right hamstring, reach your right fingers up and over. Coming back to that open arm twist, or hinging from the hips and hooking your right elbow outside of the left thigh. Maybe left hand comes on top and you spin the left side body open as you draw the right ribs away from the thigh. Draw your right hip forward, left hip back. Pause here for another full breath in. Stay for the breath out. Come back through your crescent pose. Deep inhale, and then hands come down to your low spine. Opposite elbows or fingers clasp. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Whoop, and find a little lift of the heart. Breath in. Find stability too. Breath out. Hover the belly over the left thigh. You can stay here or start to float the weight forward until the right toes will lift. Find length through both legs. Draw the right hip down. Feel your low belly press in. Take another inhale. As you exhale, soften your left knee. Hug the right knee behind it, and we're just holding this round for 3. Maybe sink a little deeper for 2. 1, inhale, re-extend if you're still with me here. We'll all meet in that hovering variation. Take a deep breath in. Breath out, lowering the shoulder down inside the thigh if you have the space, drawing the arms up overhead for an inhale. Stay for the exhale. We're gonna unravel into warrior 2, spin your right heel down, bend into the left knee, and then inhale, reach forward, exhale, reverse the warrior, take it up and back. Find a deep breath into your left ribs, deep breath out. Come all the way into extended side angle, reaching left fingers forward. You can lower the forearm, reach the right hand higher out overhead, or start to slide the left hand inside the thigh. If you have the space, you can bring right hand to your left hip crease, and you can stay here in this half bind. If you want to attempt the full bind, bring your left arm underneath the thigh, and then roll the ribs away from the thigh as you reach the right shoulder towards the sky. You can stay here, or gaze down at your left toes, bend into the right knee and hop, step it forward. Once it's in line with your left, hug your belly in. So think of that, what we did on our seats, and you're gonna draw the knee in, stand up, stay here or extend the leg, wherever you are for 3, 2, 1. If you're standing, bring the knee back in, foot down, step it back, reverse it, find your breath, open up. And we'll meet in warrior 2, inhale. Find your 5-pointed star, turn your toes and heels out. And then forward fold, soft and release down. Inhale, take your right hand under your face, left hand to your hip, sacrum or sky. Open up, breath in. Breath out, release. Halfway lift, breath in. Skandasana, back of the mat. Allow that right knee to bend and feel this stretch through the left hamstring. Stay with hands on the mat, heart center, or expand your wings. Finding deep breaths here. Deep breaths out. As you're ready, come through warrior 2, bend into the left knee, feel really rooted through the right foot, and then reach your left fingers forward, flip the palm, reverse it, all the way down to the mat, cartwheel the hands, step it back, high plank, lower halfway or all the way, inhale, upward facing or cobra, downward facing dog, shift your hips to the sky, taking 3 full breaths here. 3 full breaths out. See if you can invite a little more length into the spine with your next inhale. Invite a little more depth into the pose with your next exhale. Take another grounding breath in. Grounding breath out. Inhale, gaze forward. Bend into the knees. We're gonna come all the way through to a seat, so you can hop, step, or float to your seat, whatever works for you, and then come on down. Whew, okay. From our seat, walk your feet so that they're just about at hip width, so we're like 2, maybe fist worth, not too wide. And then take your fingertips and place them back behind you so they're facing in towards your seat. And then draw your chest slightly away from your thighs and find that little space just above just below your sacrum and above your tailbone. Then from here, start to soften into your elbows and draw your shins up, flex through the feet. You can stay exactly as you are. I'm gonna turn the face sideways for an easier view. So you can stay exactly as you are in this boat pose. You can also start to bring hands behind hamstrings, or you can float the palms open towards the sky. Take 3 deep breaths. 2 more deep breaths, excuse me. Big breath in. Release all the air out. Inhale, low boat, press it down. Holding here for 3. If you need to lower forearms, you can. If you need to stay in high boat, totally fine for 2. 1, lift up, high boat, breath in. Breath out. Inhale, low boat. Same variations as before. We hold 3. We hold 2. 1, high boat pose, breath in. Breath out. Low boat, take it down, holding 3. 2, 1, high boat pose, breath in. Maybe stay for the breath out, extend through the arms and the legs, holding 3.
2, lower down into your low boat, maybe arms stay up and overhead and we hold 5, 4, 3, 2, bring your hands behind your head and soften down. Interlace the fingers back behind the head, let your thumbs trail down the back of your neck. And then from here, bring your right knee just above your right hip, and you can keep the left foot grounded. You can flex through the foot to have a little activity through the leg, or you can lift it 2 inches off the mat. Okay, whatever you choose. You're gonna bring your left elbow to meet your right knee, maybe tap it, and come back through center. We're here for 5, tap, back through center. Exhale as you tap, inhale through center. 3, 2, find your last one on this side. Lift, 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 hold 3, 2, 1. Release your right foot down beneath the left and let the hands be back behind the head. On your next breath in, bring your left knee up and over your left hip, flex the toes. The right foot can stay grounded if it needs, and then maybe flex through the foot to stay active in the leg. If you have more space, lift the right leg like an inch or 2 off of the mat. And then we're gonna take a big breath in. Breath out, bring your right elbow to your left knee, tap. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lengthen. We're here for 5. Stay with it for 4. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Hold for 3. If you can, hold 2. Maybe lift a little higher, last 1. Extend the left foot to meet the right. Maybe reach the arms up overhead, low boat for 5, 4, 3, 2, release. Okay, squeeze the knees in. And just pause here for a moment. Let the breath come back down, settle. Find a little space. I'm just gonna turn myself to face back forward, but you guys stay where you are. Take another inhale here, and exhale. Okay, when you're ready, rock yourself up to a seat. Just coming onto a seat. And then we're gonna take our right knee in towards our right shoulder, and then bring your left foot so that it's close to your right glute. All right, so it's inside, right knee in towards right shoulder. All right, a couple options here. So we've been stretching into the side body and the hips, so we're gonna do that a little bit more here in this seat. You can always lengthen this left leg if this bringing it into the glute is too much. But if this gives you a little more grounding, it certainly does for me, then maybe keep it here. Okay, we're gonna take that same backpack as we did before, but we're gonna explore a different variation. So options are to take your right hand to the thigh and left hand to the foot and just give it a little wiggle shake back and forth. If this is enough, stay. If you need more, wrap the right arm underneath the thigh. Take your hand to the outside, bring your left hand to the outside edge of the right foot, and then release your right hand down by your side. From here, you can stay. This might be plenty. If you still have more space, you're gonna kick your right foot into your hand and open up through the side body. Feel that stretch across the ribs. Find your breath here. 2 more inhales. Keep pressing into the hand. 1 more breath in. Bend into the knee. And we switch sides. Okay, so same thing as before. You're gonna bring your left knee in towards left shoulder. And the right foot will come in towards your left glute. If that's too much, you can always extend the leg, okay? I like this again because it gives me a little bit more support here. Once you have where you need to be, you're gonna take your left arm underneath the thigh, and you can backpack the leg. This might be where you stay, or you can explore this nice hip opening variation. We can rock the pigeon back and forth, pigeon variation. Bring it up over the shoulder or just above the elbow, and then you're gonna root the left hand. Right hand comes to the outer edge of the left foot, so you have a nice firm grip. Press down through the left hand, and then maybe begin to extend the left leg, opening up through the right side body as you kick the foot into the hand right here. Maybe gazing out over your right armpit, stretching across the body. We're holding for 3, for 2, Last breath in and out. Drawing the legs back down, releasing, taking your legs forward, shifting the flesh from underneath you. Bring your hands back behind you, lift up and lengthen through your heart. Deep breath in, stay for the breath out. This might be enough to keep the low belly in and the sits bones grounded. If you need more, reach your arms up overhead, hug the low belly in, and then start to hinge from the hips and soften into a fold. Find some space here as you lengthen out on the inhale. Soften on the exhale. 2 more breaths. One more breath. Come up slowly through center. And then once you arrive, go ahead and bring your left foot in towards your right thigh and just extend your right leg out towards the right top corner of your mat. From here, a similar variation as we were taking on our seat from before, an invitation to go ahead and bring your left hand and bring it to the outside of your right leg. So the opposite hand will come outside, and then bring your right hand to your right hip and just spin your heart open. If this is too much, you can always just walk the hands, square the hips and walk the hands down the shins. If you like the twist, it's left hand outside, right hand to hip. If you still have space, you can reach the right arm to the sky. I'm going to keep mine on the hip for today. Find your breath, hinge from the hips and fold. Feel into the outer right glute. Feel into the outer right hip. Take another full breath here. And then as you exhale, walk both hands so that your right wrist crosses over your left, and either grab to the shin, the ankle, or maybe the foot with your wrist cross. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, soften into the fold. One more breath here. Feel into the right hamstring. Breath out. Walk the hands up the shins and unroll the spine. Switch the feet. Left foot will come out to the top corner of the mat. Right foot will come in towards the thigh. Same options as before. You can bring the hips nice and square, and you can reach for the shin, the ankle, the foot. If you have more space, that right hand comes outside of the ankle, the shin, or the foot, and the left hand can slide towards your left hip so that you can open up. And use the traction of the hand to the foot to get into your right side body here. You can stay or reach the left fingers to the sky if you have that space. I'm going to stay with hand on the hip again. Find your breath. One more full inhale. One more full exhale. We're going to re-square off the hips. We're going to bring, this time, left hand over the right, so the wrist goes over the right. You can grab onto the shin, the ankle, or the foot. Take a big breath to stretch up long, and breath out, maybe pull the belly down towards the thigh. And you might notice a very drastic difference from side to side. If you have more space in one side versus the other, you can always start to lift up, lengthen, and then explore even splaying the elbows out a little bit wide. 2 more breaths. One more breath. Walk the hands up the shin as you're ready. Roll the spine back up towards neutral. And then shift both legs out in front of you. Reach your arms forward and float all the way down onto your back. And then drawing your knees in towards your chest and giving yourself a nice little squeeze. See if you can feel that sensation in your hip flexors. See if you can soften the shoulders down. Take a deep breath in here. And a deep breath out. On your next inhale, give your hips a little bump over to the right side of the room. And then lower your knees over to the left, gazing out over your right fingertips. See if you can soften the right ear and shoulder onto the mat, feeling that release through your low spine, that release through your hips. Noticing the effects of this practice on your body as you melt into this posture. Take 2 more inhales. And 2 more exhales. 1 more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Bring your knees back through center as you become ready. And then just gently rock your hips over towards the left side as you lower the knees over to the right. You can start to stretch your left arm out, lower your left ear and shoulder to the mat, and just really explore that space in your low spine. See if you can feel the left side of the body pressing back down to give some more space into the outer hip and glute. And then soften the breath. 2 more inhales. And exhales. 1 more big breath in. And breath out. When you're ready, give your knees a nice little squeeze back in towards your chest. And then go ahead and take your hands around each shin. And then flex your feet. And then draw the shins out nice and wide. Once you get here, place your sacrum back down on the mat and soften the shoulder blades. So you can feel some space in your inner groin. Feel some space in the hips. Maybe just noticing where everything's at after your practices, during this practice. You can take your hands to the outer edges of your feet if you feel ready, or take your peace fingers around your big toes. If you like your hands on your shin variation, and that allows you to get a little more length into the spine and depth into the hips, remain. If you need a little bit more, it's peace fingers around big toes or hands to the outer edges of the feet. Balasana, happy baby. Whatever variation you're in, let your eyes be soft and heavy. Let your breath be even and easy. See if you can come back to that presence of your practice. That presence in your mind and your body. Take 2 more breaths. Take 1 more big breath. And then as you become ready, just start to gently bring your shins back together, give your knees a little squeeze. And then take your legs right up over your hips, lengthen them out, press your toes towards your face, really flexing through the feet, allowing the heels to get a little closer towards the ceiling. And then you can just place your palms gently on the mat or even open them up towards the ceiling and just breathe in. Feeling all of that stagnant energy moving throughout the body. Maybe noticing if you feel any different from when you started. Notice whatever tension you've let go of, or perhaps what you're still hanging on to. And then take 2 more big breaths in here. And dedicate each exhale to moving more stagnant energy, to freeing the body of more tension, to releasing a little bit more softly into this. 1 more big breath in. And breath out. From here, start to bring your legs down towards the mat. And then just softly allow the feet to splay open. Take your palms and open them towards the sky, and then soften your shoulder blades down and back. See if you can just feel your whole body rooting to the mat. Head nice and heavy. And then once you arrive in the body, see if you can begin to arrive in the breath. Giving in to the relaxation, letting go of any effort or control. Maybe from here, the lips gently part. And you just focus on that rise and fall of the belly, that easy, soft rhythm that your breath is creating. maybe bring yourself back to that, your original intention. Finding a little more compassion and space for yourself. Finding a little more space for the body and the breath. And then when and if you become ready, go ahead and wiggle out your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles, inviting movement into the body. And then maybe start to stretch your toes out long in front of you, reach your fingertips up and overhead. And take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale, open through the mouth, let it go. Reawaken your breath. Start to roll to one side whenever you are ready. Patiently, easily, gently arriving in fetal position. Or staying on your back if you need more time. When you're ready to move on from here, with the eyes closed if you can, roll yourself to a comfortable seat, either pressing into the sits bones or the shins, lifting and lengthening up across the spine, dropping the shoulders down and back. You can rest your palms on your thighs or maybe open the palms towards the sky, sealing your thumb to your index finger, reconnecting to your body, reconnecting to your breath. Wherever, whenever you've arrived, take a deep breath in through the nose and open your mouth, sigh it out, let it go. On your next inhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Press your thumbs in towards the sternum to acknowledge yourself for showing up on your mat, for bringing yourself more compassion and space into the body, for maybe finding a little bit more energy and freedom to move. I bring my hands to my third eye in honor and gratitude of all of you. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for taking this really nice twist and hips flow with me. Again, this is really designed to move some stagnant energy around, detoxify the body, and hopefully get the low back feeling pretty nice and released. If you want to check out some more videos from us, we are at Flex and Flow, and I am Jamie King at Jamie King Fit on Instagram. Please follow along. Let me know if you have any feedback or any video wish lists. I'm happy to create some more fun for you guys. Thanks for flowing with me. See you next time.